Welcome to my channel. I am Cassia Emerald, and on today's episode we are going to be talking about Pocahontas' story. We are going to be dividing her story in two videos. This is part 1, where we're going to be talking about her early life and her first encounter with John Smith. We're going to be comparing her story between the oral tradition from the Powhatan tribe and John Smith book. So please, if you're interested on this, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel so you're gonna be aware of the second part of the Pocahontas story is released. For centuries, the story of Pocahontas has been etched into our collective memory. A Native American princess, a dramatic rescue, a love affair, and a bridge between two cultures. Is a tale of adventure and romance, largely shaped by the writings of one man, Captain John Smith. But what if I told you that this widely accepted narrative, the one we have learned in history books and seen in movies, is dramatically different from the story passed down through generations by Pocahontas' own people? Today, we are going to unravel the two very distant versions of her life, side by side. On one side, we have the historical accounts from the English colonists, predominantly from Captain John Smith's own writings. And on the other, we have the profound and sacred oral history of the Mattaponi tribe, as brought to light in Dr. Linwood Littlebear Coslow and Angela Lee Daniel Silverstar's groundbreaking book from 2007 called The True Story of Pocahontas, The Other Side of History. Prepare to have everything you thought you knew challenged. Let's begin where every story starts, at the very beginning of Pocahontas' life. And right away, we see a foundational difference in perspective. Ambiguous or non-existent portrayal of Pocahontas' early family life, focusing quickly on her later interactions, maybe a generic colonial depiction of Native American family. From the English perspective, particularly John Smith's early accounts, Pocahontas is introduced primarily through her later interactions with the colonists. Her birth, her immediate family structure, and her childhood are largely absent or given very little detail. She often appears as a figure already somewhat wild or exotic in his narratives, rather than a child rooted in a complex society. However, the Mattaponi oral history paints a deeply personal and emotionally rich picture. Pocahontas was the last child of Seneca, the paramount chief, often referred to as Chief Powhatan. And importantly, she was the daughter of his first wife, his wife of choice and love. This detail about her mother being his true love is crucial, and is something the English records entirely miss or ignore. Tragically, her mother died during childbirth. Their daughter was given the name Matuaka, which meant flower between two streams. This beautiful name likely comes from the Mattaponi village being located precisely between the Mattaponi and the Pamunkey rivers, symbolizing her dual heritage, her mother being Mattaponi and her father being Pamunkey. Seneca was abysmally devastated by the loss of his beloved wife, but he found immense joy and solace in his newborn daughter. He often called her Pocahontas, which meant laughing and joyous one, because she constantly reminded him of his cherished wife. There was no question among his people. She was his favorite, and the two share incredible, special, unbreakable bond. Despite this profound connection, Seneca thought it best to send her to be raised in the Mattaponi village, rather than at his capital of Werowocomoco. This was a common practice for noble children. She was raised by her aunts and cousins who nurtured and cared for her as if she was their own. Once Pocahontas was weaned, she returned to live with her father. While Wassahoneca had other children with alliance views, Pocahontas truly held a unique, special place in his heart, and his love was deeply reciprocated. Pocahontas held a profound love and respect for her father as well. The oral history is explicit. All of Pocahontas and her father's actions were fundamentally motivated by this deep, strong bond. The love and connection between them never wavered. It is also important to note that many of her older siblings were already grown as Wassahoneca feathered Pocahontas later in his life. Many of these elder brothers and sisters held prominent positions within Powhatan society, adding to the protective sphere around her. Her family was extremely protective of her and saw to it that she was exceptionally well looked after. Our next point of comparison delves into Pocahontas' childhood and the cultural norms that shaped her, something often entirely misunderstood or ignored in the English accounts. From the English perspective, as presented by John Smith, there is very little nuance regarding Pocahontas' childhood or the specific social rules she would have followed. She is often portrayed as a free-spirited, almost untamed child of nature who appeared at opportune moments. The complexities of Powhatan society's structure, age-related customs, and the discipline expected of a chief's daughter are completely absent from their narratives. The Mattaponi oral history reveals a starkly different reality. As a child, Pocahontas' life was very different than it would be as an adult. The distinction between childhood and adulthood was visibly marked, not just through behavior, but also through physical appearance. For example, Pocahontas would not have cut her hair or worn much clothing until she came of age. Though in winter, she definitely wore covering to protect against the cold. Furthermore, there were specific ceremonies she was simply not allowed to participate or even witness due to her age. Even as a child, the cultural standards of Powhatan society applied to her, and in fact, as the daughter of the paramount chief, more responsibility and discipline were expected of her. Pocahontas also received more supervision and training, preparing her for future role. And as Wahunsenaka's favorite daughter, she probably had even more security and oversight than other children of her status. So this is where the two narratives diverge most dramatically, especially concerning the pivotal event that cemented Pocahontas' name in colonial history, the rescue of Captain John Smith. So according to Captain John Smith's dramatic account, he was captured by Chief Powhatan warriors, brought before the chief, and was about to have his brains beaten out with clubs. At the last moment, young Pocahontas, a mere girl, supposedly rushed forward and laid her head upon his, saving his life through an act of spontaneous, rebellious mercy. The Mattaponi oral history tells a completely different story. When the English arrived, the Powhatan people welcomed them. They genuinely desired to become friends and trade with the settlers. This wasn't an immediate conflict, but an attempt of integration. Each tribe within the Powhatan chiefdom had what they call kiakros. These were profound figures, spiritual leaders, political advisors, medical doctors, historians, and enforcers of Powhatan behavioral norms. The Kiakros are devices containing the English and strategically making them allies to the Powhatan people. Wahunsenaka, a wise and strategic leader, agreed with the Kiakros. So during the winter of 1607, this hoped for friendship was solidified. Now about their most famous event, Pocahontas' rescue of Captain John Smith. It did not happen the way he wrote it. Smith was indeed exploring when he encountered a Powhatan hunting party. A skirmish ensued and Smith was captured, not by Wassahanika directly, but by a young brother of him. His young brother then took Smith from village to village. Why? To demonstrate to the Powhatan people that Smith in particular, and the English in general, were as human as they were, not divine or indestructible, but vulnerable. This was a crucial psychological and political tour. The rescue was therefore not a literal saving from execution, but a deeply significant ceremony. It was an initiation, a ritual designed to initiate Smith as another chief, a symbolic leader within the Powhatan network of allies. It was a formal way to welcome Smith, and by extension, all the English into the Powhatan nation. Because it was such an important ceremony, the Kiakros would have played an integral central role in its execution. The implication of the ceremony rescue profoundly shifted our understanding of both John Smith's status and Pocahontas' supposed involvement. In John Smith's narrative, he frames himself as a perpetual victim in need of rescue, and Pocahontas as his childlike, benevolent savior. This dynamic elevates his own importance and painted her as an individual acting on impulse, outside of her cultural norms. The oral history paints a more dignified and culturally consistent picture. Wahunsenaka truly liked Smith after his ceremony initiation. He even offered a healthier location for the English to settle. Smith's life was never in danger during this period. As for Pocahontas, the oral history is clear. She would not have been present at such ceremony. Children were not allowed at religious rituals of this magnitude. Afterwards, Pocahontas would have considered Smith a leader and defender of the Powhatan family, and allied chief of the English tribe. She would have expected Smith to be utterly loyal to her people, since he had solemnly pledged friendship to Wahunsenaka. In Powhatan society, one's word was one's bond, so that bond was sacred, unbreakable. Thank you for watching Pocahontas Part 1 video about her childhood. And if you're interested on continuing understanding and learning more about the oral tradition of the Powhatan, watch Part 2. That's going to be released Sunday at 10 a.m. And if you like it, please subscribe to the channel, like this video. That will help me to continue bringing content. I'll see you in the next one.